My name is Jay Majors Raposo, owner of Major League Barber Shop, Major League Barber Academy, the creator of the Connecticut Barber Expo, and now the Las Vegas Barber Expo.
Can I get an applause if that's what y'all want?
From the LV Barber Expo.
Although they call me Jay Majors, my life hasn't always been that major.
Mr. Raposo had a tough upbringing, landing in and out of jail. He used cutting hair, though, as an escape.
And eventually turned it into a career, and now even teaches others his craft. Jason joins us this morning to talk about his rise to success.
Now, Jay, you were just even talking to me right before we went on the air. You said this is becoming so big, it's one of the biggest events in the world.
And that's exactly it. We try to make a difference in people's lives. You know what? You feel good if you look good.
And those who cut and style it, the Connecticut Barber Expo.
Sounds like such an inspirational story. Kind of tell us about your upbringing.
So I met Jay Raposo about 20 years ago. One of the first times I represented Jay, he was Jason back then, he was involved in some relatively petty, small thing. Unfortunately, I should say, as time went on, he set his goals and determination to go in a direction that he thought was best, but much to other people's belief, was not the best by way of law.
My 6th grade teacher once told me that I'd be dead or in jail by the age of 18. She was almost right. By the age of 15, I was brutally beaten by a group of gang members, and I was stabbed in my back and in my abdomen. And I wasn't gonna make it. In fact, doctors brought me back to life on an operating table. And by the age of 18, I celebrated in a jail cell. That's where I celebrated my 18th birthday. So upon my release from prison, I had this newfound respect for barbering, and I found a way to earn an honest living. And I really took pride in it when I was in school, but it was really tough for me because I had to go to cosmetology school to be a barber, and the dropout rate in men was way higher than women. Men were dropping out of school that wanted to be a barber but had to do cosmetology.
When Jay first started, he was actually my classmate, and he wasn't as good as he is now, man, not even a little bit. When it came to women's hair, extremely frustrated. When it came to men's hair, he would leave lines on the fades, but he got better in time. So the barber world elevated so much so, and I believe that Jay Majors was a big part of that.
What can we say? Truly blessed all the way from the UK to be invited. Thank you, Jay Majors, for making me the VIP guest.
There became a point in my career where I felt cutting hair just wasn't enough. Being stuck in the shop 10, 12 hours a day enabled my ability to reach the masses. I wanted to give back to my community, and I wanted to give back to the barbering industry. So I sought out on a crusade to do just that.
So I met Jay Majors about 7 years ago. He reached out to me. He asked if he could give me a call, and he called me, and it was ironic because we had a lot of the same interests. He was doing a lot of the same things that I was doing at the time. He was a club promoter, I was a club promoter, and he was a barber, I was a barber. And Connecticut's not really known for, I guess, it's not like a New York City or Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles. So the fact that he gets thousands of barbers from not only the United States, but all over the country to come.
Finally, all my hard work was starting to pay off. All these major corporations wanted to have something to do with the Connecticut Barber Expo. One day, I even received an email from the Source magazine. I thought it was a joke. Before you knew it, I was at their corporate headquarters, making things happen, spreading the word about what us barbers were doing in the world.
I remember growing up in the 90s, the Source was such a big influence on everybody in America, especially the urban community. And Biggie had that line, she smiles every time she sees me up in the Source. And he's talking about his mother. I'm honored to be in two articles in the Source magazine. And I really appreciate the opportunity for that.
Many people doubted me. They told me that the Connecticut Barber Expo wouldn't exist. They said, who's gonna come to Connecticut? At that point, you know, I really started listening to these people and actually believing them, you know, but I had to like push forward.
You know, and I knew it was, you know, this thing was going to take off, and it definitely did, and I'm very proud of my man.
My pivotal moment with him was a time in which I attended his barber show. When we walked into the center, I was expecting 100, 200 people and a whole lot of rap music. There were literally thousands of people, and lights and cameras and noise and activity and energy. It was, I can't even put a word on the term that would properly describe how I watched this person transition through the spectrum of life to the point where he is now.
From day one, he's kept the integrity of his events, and number two, most importantly, is the fact that it's the attention to detail. It's the service that he gives you, whether you're just a competitor or whether you're a brand. He always makes sure he comes out, shakes your hand, makes sure everything's okay with you. And that's one of the things that I liked about Jay, is the fact that no matter how much success has come his way, he's always stayed the same person from when he first started that first bar battle, and I think it was like Waterbury, Connecticut. So for that, I commend him, and a lot of respect to Jay.
Now the rest is history. He's got the shop, he's got the schools, he's got the shows. If I were to summarize one thing that changed this guy's life, and I speak from experience, it was barbering, and the drive and determination to not just be a barber, but to be a pinnacle and a leader in that industry.
There was a time in my life where I gave up hope. I thought that I was going to live that life for the rest of my life, and I blamed everybody and everything for what was happening to me. But it all boiled down to my decisions.
And I just watched the man evolve, and you know, I'm tired of talking about the man. Enough of him, man. Enough of him, man. Later for him, man.